Good morning, students. Lesson 106. I'm running a little late this morning. Sorry about that. I'll get this to you starting right now. Take me about 20 minutes, I think. So, lesson 106, we are starting off with problem number 7 is from this lesson, 106. This is fairly intense. Hope you can follow me with this. This is kind of a memorization thing. I want you to take on your practice, go ahead and turn your problem set to practice and record this so that you have it for the future. To find the slope, and put this down in your practice block, slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 negative x1. This is the key to finding slopes without actually graphing them. They're trying to teach you this. So if you're ready, I'm going to show you how to do this. They're giving us, on number 7, they're giving us the ordered pair of 2 and 5 and negative 4 and 3. Okay, all this is showing us is that you understand that the second number is always the y, and the first number is the x. I think you understand that. Let me just do that. This is x, this is y, this is x, and this is y. And just for the sake of why we have y2 and a y1, we're going to consider this as 1. The first one as 1, and the second one as 2. I'll stop just a moment for you to really get that in your head. Now, that's just because they gave us this one first. Is why we're calling that x and y1, and the second one's. Okay, here is y2. So this would be your y2 right here. That's the second one. So it's 3. Just do this. It's going to be 3 minus 5. Did I record that right? I'm sorry. This is a negative 3. I thought something was wrong here. Okay, 3. I'm sorry. A negative 3 and a negative 5. y2 is a negative 3. y1 is a 5, but we always subtract it. So right here's your subtraction. Negative 3 and a negative 5. If you put those together, are you agreeing with me? That's a negative 8. So on the top we have a negative 8. Excuse me. Now we're going to go to the x, and here's your x, the second x, x2. So we have a negative 4. I'll do it this way. Minus a negative, subtract negative, positive 2 is 4. Negative 4 and negative 2 is a negative 6. Y'all have that. So now we end up with a negative 8 over a negative 6. 2 negatives makes a positive. Reduce this down, it's a 4 over 3. So now we have solved for the slope. Quite a complicated formula here, but hopefully maybe you can just go back over that several times until you understand that. But this is the key. y2 minus y1 over x2 negative x1. Okay, so now we're not through with this one. All we have is the slope. So here's our formula. Y equals, that was 4 over 3, a positive 4 over 3 x. And now we want to solve for this. They called it the b, but we don't know what this number is where it crosses the y line, right? This is what tells us what crosses the y line. Okay, how do we solve for that? Again, we put these back up here. We had a 2 and a 5 and a negative 4 and a negative 3. Okay, we can choose, this is x and this is y, this is x and y. We can choose whichever one we want to replace here for x and y. I'm going to choose the positive ones only because I think it might be a little easier. So here is the x is a 2. Y'all understand that? Right here where x is at, I'm going to put a 2 over 1. And where y is at, I'm going to put a 5. I'll do this slow enough. Hopefully you can stay with me. This is a lot to learn this morning. Okay, this is side by side. We are going to multiply that. So 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so now we've multiplied that. This is a positive, of course. That's important whether it's a negative or positive. That's a positive. Now we're going to move this back over to this side over here, and as it crosses, it's going to become a negative 8 over 3. Are you with me on that? I moved it to this side. we add these two together. So we're adding a negative 8 over 3 and a positive 5 over 1. Of course, the first thing we have to do is get common denominators. So the common denominator is going to be 3. So I got negative 8, and this goes into this. That's going to make this a 15 over 3. Negative 8 over 3 plus positive 15 over 3 becomes a positive 7 over 3. And we have just solved this equation. To finalize what we have here, put it up here where you can see it plainly. We had a y equals, remember that 4 over 3 3x, and then this number right here, plus 7 over 3. That is a long process to get to this formula. Going to do another one. It gave us 2 of these to do. The number 8 is a negative 2 and a negative 2. And the second one is a 5 and a 5. Okay, remember the steps? y2, negative y1 on the top. This is y2, this is 5 minus a negative 2. That's going to become a positive 2. Is that right? A negative 2. That's a positive 2. That's on the top. Now we're ready for the x's. x2 is a 5. Back over here to minus negative 2 is going to be a positive 2. Did that make sense? Think about that a moment. Okay, so 5 plus 2 is 7 over 7. 7 over 7 equals 1. We have just solved our slope. So we have y equals 1 over 1x. Now we want to solve for b. I only call it b because that's what they designated. It means nothing other than this position. Okay, up here, look back up here again. We can, let's use the positive numbers. Doesn't matter which set you use, just so you use both numbers from the same set. All right, so x, right here is x, 5 over 1. And here's y, 5 over 1. Okay, do the multiplication. Obviously, we take 1 times 1 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1, so it's the same. This would be a positive 5 over 1. Again, we're going to put it on the other side, and it becomes a negative 5 over 1. Add these two together. A negative 5 over 1 plus a positive 5 over 1 is a 0. Y'all agree with that? So this position is 0. What's our final equation? Y equals, we had 1 over 1 x, and it's 0, so we don't put anything back here. Also, we can eliminate this. Is that correct? When we have a 1 in front of a variable, we can just eliminate it. This is our final answer to that one. Don't lose this right here. Leave that on your practice set so that you have this formula, and that will help you. We'll do one, I think we'll be doing some tomorrow also. That was 7 and 8. All right, we'll leave those. 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, and 14 are all from yesterday's lesson. Now, if you remember, I'll put this one up for AB plus 15 plus 5A plus 3B. Yesterday they made it fairly simple. We would just factor these and factor this. Today they are mixing it all up. We have to choose which two we want to put together to make it factor by grouping. It's a little bit more tricky here. We have an AB plus 3B. I'm going to take a chance. Sometimes you just have to take a chance and see how it works out. AB plus 3B, and then I'm going to have a positive 5A plus 15. Let's see if this works out. If it doesn't, I'll change something else out. But looking at that, I could kind of make a pretty calculated guess. Let's try this. So now we're going to, wait a minute. This is, I put a P. This is right. Okay, what I'm going to factor out of this one, of course, is going to be a b now, and I'm ending up with a plus 3. Over here, I'm going to factor out a 5, and I should be ended up with an a plus 3. Is that right? I factored the 5 out of both of these. Does that work? Yes, it does. B plus 5 and an a plus 3. I think every one of these are all mixed up like that. So help me choose as we go along. Don't just do what I do without really thinking it through. That was number 9. 10. AY plus XY plus AC plus XC. Okay, a good calculated guess. If we're wrong, it's okay. Just looking at these. Possibly this right here, AY plus AC, and then X, that would be these two, and then XY plus XC. Let's see how this works out. I'm going to take an A out of here, and then I have a Y plus C left. I'll take a X out of here, and I have a Y plus C. Did we do well? A plus X and a Y plus C. Again, you have to think with me. These are not easy, but it's meant to tickle your brain and strengthen your brain in processing all these numbers, variables. Okay, that was number 10. 11. 3mx negative 2p plus 3px negative 2m. What are we going to do with that one? One of the things that I look for is something like this. Do you see the x negative 2 and the x negative 2 here? I think that if we, well, let's see here. No, that won't work. That will not work. That was not a good move. The m's and the p's are pairs. All right, let's try this. 3mx negative 2m. That was this one and this one. So I factor out the m. I end up with a 3y negative 2. Correct? All right, so let's pair these two up. Now we have you can change these around, so let's see if this works. 3y. Oh, it's x. Okay. I hear Ansley in behind me correcting me here. This is a 3x. There we go. 3x negative 2. All right, so now we have these two together. Let me just rewrite them positive. 3px negative 2p. Factor out the p only plus p, and we end up with 3x negative p. That worked? No, 3x negative 2. There we go. M plus p and 3x negative 2. That was, again, a very complicated one. I think we got it right. Okay. That reminds me, on your lesson yesterday, number 10, I had a variable misplaced also. You probably discovered that. Okay, that was number 11. 12. Kx negative 15 negative 5k plus 3x. What am I looking at here? Maybe this is a really complicated one. Kx negative 15. Let's try this one and this one maybe. 3x plus kx If we would take the x out of this, we're going to end up with 3 plus k. And here, if we rewrite negative 5k, negative 15, if I take a negative 5 out of this, I end up with k plus 3. Okay, and we can change these around. I'm going to change the 3 plus k around so that they're the same. K plus 3. Did we get it all? I think that's right. X negative 5. You will not solve these without thinking intensely. X negative 5, K positive 3. That was number 12. Number 13. XPC plus PC2 is 4x plus 4c. What goes together here? Maybe just these do. Let's try this. What would we factor out? We can factor out a P and a C. PC, we end up with X plus, we have another C left over, is that correct? We just did one of the C's. Okay, now let's try this one. Here we can take the 4 out of it, positive 4 out of this, and we end up with X positive C. Bingo, we scored. PC positive 4 and X positive C. Ah, yes, and that was number 13. One more time, 14. ACB, negative ACK, positive 2B, negative 2K. I'm doing all these for you, but hopefully by tomorrow you'll really get the idea and you'll be able to pick up on this. Again, you can do it and experiment. If it doesn't work out, then try something else. But you have to think ACB. I'm looking for. This is partly what I do. I look for same variables in it, and I don't know if this is going to be right. I think. Let's try it. ACB plus 2B. If we factor out the B, we end up with AC plus 2. Okay, then we have this left over. Let's go have this one. Let's go with a negative ACK, negative 2K. We'll factor, we always like to factor the negative out with it. So we got the negative K. Negative K, we end up with AC positive 2 because we factored the negative out. That worked, didn't it? B negative K and AC positive 2.
I did it the other way.
You can have these turned around. Is that what you're saying, Ansley?
No, I had, yeah.
It doesn't hurt if you have these, anytime you have these turned around, you could have AC plus 2 and B negative K. That's fine. But again, let me remind you, every time we solve for these now, if you multiply these back times themselves, you will come up with the original. If you want to check yourself, you can do that. That takes a lot of extra time, but you don't have anything but time anyway. You're at home. All right, now we have 2 more, 16 and 18. We're leaving those to do something different. I'm ready to. We have a common denominator. Oh, it says find C. Always put that at the top so that we have it. Find C. The MC is your common denominator, so I have a CK on the left plus M equals MC or CMX. CMX. Solving for C, we move all the C's to one side. If it works, I always move them to the right side. It's not, you do not have to do that. That's just part of what I like to do. So in other words, this is a CK. Let's make it simple. He's on the wrong side. This one has a C over here. Let's just move him over, and it becomes a negative CK. Now erase this off. We're going to factor out the C. We have an MX negative K. So have the M, and to get rid of this, this is of course is right beside it, so it's called multiplication. To get rid of it, we divide MX negative K. That's what C would equal. That's number 16. And one more time, number 18. Find M. And here we go, the common denominator is MCY, all the rest of them. So on the 1 here we've added a CY plus to the B we've added MB, it's going to be a BMY equals X, and to that one we've added the MC. Solving for M. To get rid of that, get them all on the same side. I'll rewrite it. CY equals XMC. Put that on the other side. It's going to be a negative BMY. CY equals, we're solving for M, so I'll factor it out. XC negative BY. Just rewrite it. Put that underneath is XC negative BY is what M equals. We are getting into some very interesting, maybe you call it complicated, but it will increase your learning ability, hopefully. Here we go. That's the end of that lesson. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Get your work done. Go outside and enjoy the great outdoors. Fishing, hunting, riding horse. Oh, what else could you do? Just simply sit down on a chair, lawn chair outside. Y'all have a good day.